Okay, people, I'm back. Tales from the Pen, part 9. If you're new to the channel, please go down and hit subscribe. Right there, hit it on the bottom, bang. If you don't have YouTube, please just sign up for it. Subscribe for me. I need all the help I can get. If you're new to the channel and you just got here for the first time, my name is Fred. I'm from Queens, and I talk about my experiences in the penitentiary. And as always, and I say this in every single video, I do this for the kids. I do this for the youth. I do this for people who want to know and understand what really goes on in the penitentiary. But I mainly do this for the kids and hope that they understand, and so I could stop somebody going through the same things that I went through. So I can deter other people from making bad choices and bad decisions like I made in life. That's why I do this channel. That's why I'm doing these videos. No other reason, no other purpose. I need to get my message out to the masses. I need to get my message out to these youth who are totally confused and have no clue what really goes on in the penitentiary. You know, they watch a few movies, they watch a TV show or two, and think they understand. And it's more than just, you know, prison stabbings and tattoos. Nah, it's more than that. You know, there's a mental side, there's an emotional side, and this is what I try to do. I try to bring you into my world so you understand what really goes on. That's it. That's why I'm doing this channel. That's it. Simple. Thank you for everybody for the support. Again, thank you for everybody who's watching, supporting, subscribing, you know, texting me, DMing me, asking me questions. A lot of people have been asking me questions. So we're going to get into a couple questions today from some people who've written me on Instagram, who've written my email, and they just want to know a few things, you know, that they may be confused about or may just want to know about, right? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit, just, you know, I'm going to speak to the people who've written me and to speak to the people who want to ask some questions, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of that today, and, you know, I'm sure I'll go off on something else. You know, that's the ADD in me. Sorry, people. Let's see. First question we got my nephew Junior. Mikey Jr. out there in Whitestone. I see you. Okay, so he wanted to know about the prison food. Okay. The prison food is, as you can imagine, disgusting, right? The prison food is bland and horrible, okay, in the mess hall. I tried hard not to eat too much in the mess hall. I would rather, you know, be in my cell and, you know, make something, eat a sandwich, or eat what we call a crackhead soup, which is the ramen noodles, right? Ramen noodles, we call them crackhead soups in the penitentiary, okay? We call them crackhead soups because they were 10 cents, and even the crackheads could afford them. You understand? Because no matter what program you had, whatever you did, you got paid for it, even if it was 10 cents an hour, whatever it is, right? So 20 cents an hour, whatever it was, okay? So at the end of the week, you may have $5, but you go to the store every 2 weeks. So by the time you go to the store, you may have $10 in the commissary. That's for people who still didn't have nothing, right? And they would buy a lot of crackhead soups. That's what we called them, the top ramen noodles. So we would eat a lot of that, and just to, you know, for me, myself, I never really got into the mess hall too tough. It just wasn't my thing. But when I did go to the mess hall, everybody who's been in the New York State Penitentiary understands the purpose of Sazon, right? I used to keep this with me. No matter where I went in the mess hall and what we were eating, Sazon had to go on my food to make it taste a little better. 1000%. I used to take it, spread it on, whatever it was. Didn't matter what it was. Anything. Rice, whatever they made, because whatever they made was bland, had no taste to it, and it was disgusting. So this was like a savior right here. Sazon, oof, I never left home without it. Never. So yeah, the prison food was disgusting, Junior. Thanks for the question. We got another question, Dave. Little cuz Dave out there, Long Island. Okay, he had a good question. He wanted to know, if you snitch on police, is it still considered snitching? I like the question. But hell no. Because you got to understand, if you snitch on an inmate, then what happens is, when you go to another jail, it follows you. Even though there's a lot of jails, prison is a small world. So when you go to another jail, somebody from the other jail will just write to that jail, to somebody that they know, and let them know, hey, there's a rat in your jail, this is who he is, blah, blah, blah. And then within a week or two, somebody's pressing you about what you did in the other jail. That's just how it goes. With the police, it's a bit different because they don't play fair. They don't play fair. They will beat your ass. You could be doing nothing. Your hands could be on the wall, not moving. They could beat your ass and then say that you were resisting. And get away with it. And you were resisting, and you're going to the box for 8 months, a year, you know, for assault. So when you snitch on police, it's not the same. They on the other side. They on the two different worlds. They're trying to kill you, half of them. So no, if you tell on police, that they did something to you, it's 1000% not snitching. Sometimes it's survival. You got to let people know sometimes what they're trying to do to you. Otherwise, they'll kill you up in there. So no, to your answer, no. If you snitch on police, say they did something to you, hell no, that's not snitching. That's survival, kid. That's just the way it is. Okay? All right, so we got another question from Joe. He's out there in Montana. Woof. Shout out to Montana. I don't even know what's going on out there in Montana. It's a bunch of horse riding, right? What's going on out there in Montana, Joe? Write me and tell me what's happening out there. So, Joe want to know is, because of my experiences, do I hate cops? No. I don't hate cops or corrections officers at all. Absolutely not. They're doing their job. However, what I do got a problem with is the ones who go overboard, okay? If you're doing your job, you're doing your job. It is what it is. Now, when you're in there, there's a line, right? And you don't cross it when you get it. But check this out. They're people. So you have, just like you have assholes in any, part of life, you got good people too. Not every correction officer is an asshole. Not everyone. Not every police officer is not. No, it's not like that. As a matter of fact, I got, a few friends who are cops. A few people I grew up with who were cops. One of my best friends, shout out to Will out there in South Carolina. He's a cop. That's my people. No. It's the asshole ones that go to the extreme and make your life miserable, right? Those are the ones that I despise. The ones that do shit for no reason, that don't have to do it. A lot of times the new police were the asshole ones. That's the truth. Because they come right out the academy and, they think they're tough and, they have a certain idea about how prison is. So they treat people a certain way. A lot of the older police, a lot of the police who was there 10, 15, 20 years, corrections officers, they were cool. Some of them were all right. Because they've been around the block. And they know what could happen. And they know, they know how to move. It was mostly the new ones who don't understand and never understood the prison mentality until they were there for a few years. Okay? You can't treat everybody the same. You can't treat everybody like an asshole, which is what a lot of the newer ones were doing. That's the truth. So no, I do not hate corrections. They're just doing their job. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I told you, I grew up with people who, I went one way, they went another. It's just the way it is. It's all love, though. So no, I don't hate them. Thanks for the question, Joe. Let's see what else we got. Okay, we got Carlos out there, California. Shout out to California. Shout out to my people out there in Cali. Thanks for watching, brother. Now, he wanted to know about the racial lines here in the New York State Penitentiary. I like it. I like the question because out in California, it's a bit different. Out in California, you have to go with your race. If you're white and you go in the penitentiary, you better hang out with the white boys, okay? Or the white boys that's there are gonna kill you, okay? If you hang out with another race. That's just the way it is. Blacks hang out with blacks, Spanish hang out with Spanish, and whites hang out with whites. This is what I understand as the California correctional facilities are. New York State is not like that. New York State is 1,000% not like that. Although, okay, especially for the white guys, because there was never really any white gangs or anything like that in New York State penitentiaries when I was there. Okay? Although you would see some racial divide, of course, especially if like in medium security prisons where everybody's together and there's TVs in the day room. When there was a black guy fighting a Spanish guy, no matter what, you know, what kind of Latino he was or where he was from, and there was a black guy, you'd see it then. You'd see the racial things going on there, because the blacks, no matter who he was, this motherfucker could be 4-14 with one knockout, right? They're rooting for him, okay? Blacks root for the black guys, Spanish root for the Spanish guys. That's facts. That's the truth. That's when you really see it. It's like, oh shit, what's going on in here, right? But as far as whites go, there was no white gangs, okay? And as far as I went, yeah, I'm a bit different, right? Because here's the thing. A lot of the white guys who did stick together, we didn't have the same common interests, okay? A lot of the older white guys, maybe the motorcycle guys, they stuck together or something like that. But a lot of times, we didn't have the same interests. I didn't listen to, you know, heavy metal, okay? A lot of them listen to heavy metal and stuff. A lot of them sit around and play pinochle. Never did that. A lot of them drink coffee. Don't drink coffee. A lot of them are dope fiends. I found that. At least maybe 60-70% of the white inmates are dope fiends and pill poppers in prison. Never what I was about. Me, what got me by and how I survived was, one, being me. Number two was sports. I was heavy into sports. Baseball, football. I even played soccer with the Jamaicans, you know what I'm saying? But my main one was basketball. So whenever I would go into a spot, go into a jail, right? And as soon as I walk through the mess hall, there's people, right? Yo, Fred, yo, you're playing on my team. My team's not that good. You know, you got to play with me, blah, blah, blah. I'd walk, a few more feet and it'd be somebody else. Yo, Fred, you playing with me. I was known for basketball. That's what I was, I was known for all sports, but basketball was my thing. So, it would be like, they got this white kid here and everyone would come down and watch and, I'd crack dudes. It's just the way, I'm not bragging. I'm not, it's just the way it is. I was always nice and ball. So that's how I got along, right? I got along through sports. That was just me. Everyone's experience is different. Everyone has their own experience. Everyone has their own, story to tell, right? But I never really had none of that. If anything, I had more of a reverse racism. Let me explain. Because you have a lot of people in there who feel they can say whatever the fuck they want about white people, and you just supposed to sit there and take it, right? Sometimes I would take it more of a personal when people would make blanket statements, right? When we're sitting around and something's happening and they say, man, I fucking hate white people, right? I would take that shit sometimes personally, like, yo, what the fuck you talking about, right? You understand? It was a lot of reverse racism. Never more than when, let me tell you this one quick story, okay? So Riddick Bowe, heavyweight champion at the time, was fighting Andrew Golota, Polish dude. And Andrew Golota, boom, kept hitting him low. Right? And it started a riot in Madison Square Garden where dudes actually jumped into the ring and started jumping people and all that. And then in the crowds, there were fights, right? And as soon as this shit popped off and we're all watching the TV, there's, 60 people in the day room. All these people start saying, yeah, kill Whitey, kill them white motherfuckers. Because in the crowd, dude, you see dudes hitting dudes in the heads with chairs and, and anytime you see the white guy getting beat up, they were all, yeah, cheering and shit. Now, again, anybody who know Fred is not on no racist shit at all. Never. However, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just let these people just keep fucking talking crazy? Fuck these white people. We should start beating people up in here. This is what these motherfuckers are saying. And there's only like 2 white guys here and, 3 or 4 white guys in the house. And they ain't saying shit. But I did. I turned around and said, man, shut the fuck up. I can see why your dumb asses are in jail in the first place. It was like a pin dropped in them. Everybody stopped. Everybody looked at me. I was semi-new to the jail. I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up, all you dumbass motherfuckers. I got up, right? They grabbed my chair. My boy O, shout out to my boy O out there in Bushwick. You know what I'm saying? He's in the feds now. He'll be home next year. He jumped up with me. You know what I'm saying? And we both pulled out something. We went back to back and say, yeah, because that was my brother. That was my boy. And he said, yo, man, this is my boy, man. Y'all got to stop talking that racist shit around him, man. If not, whatever, it's going to be problems. And me and O went back to back. Facts. 1000%. That was one of the, that's how I originally got my props in there. I just wasn't going for you. Just can't say anything around anybody. Some of these dudes was going for that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these white guys was going for that. I wasn't. So it put me at a different level. You see what I'm saying? Nothing ever end up coming to that. You know what I'm saying? I got cool with all those dudes, and it was more of an oppression thing as far as they hated the cops. And all the cops were white. And, I get that. I understand that. But, people also got to understand where I'm coming from. You just can't make blanket statements around anybody. Everybody's not going for that shit. Right? But that's just the way it was. That's just, that's just how it goes in there, man. You know what I mean? And when the Spanish dude jumped up with me and let him know, yo, this is my brother right here. It got down, my boy was about that life too. So it's just the way it goes, man. You know what I mean? It wasn't no racist shit. It wasn't no racist shit intended on my part either. But you're not just going to keep saying shit and I'm just going to sit here and do nothing about it. Nah. That's what happens when you let them people start talking crazy. And then what happens, they think you soft. And then they, try to test you in little ways. Maybe try to rob you or something like that. No, you got to nip that in the bud right away. That's me. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Carlos out there in California. Thank you for the question, man. Appreciate it. It's just the way it was in there, man. It's just the way it was. And the reality is, most of the white guys didn't like me either, because I played basketball. And I hung out with whoever. I hung out with whoever was cool. I had some white dude friends. They were, cool with me. And if they were cool, they weren't suckers. They was cool with me. We was good. I hung out with a lot of white guys. But again, I hung out with whoever was cool with me, man. You show me respect, I show you respect. That's how it is here in New York, Carlos. The thing is that the crazy part is, real quick, getting back to that, is that dudes actually came to me. Okay? And one of my boys, I grew up with this kid, and he would happen to be in the penitentiary, Shout out to, we ain't gonna say his name, B. We're just gonna call him B. He's home now. But he came to me and was like, listen, I got a bunch of white guys ready to go. I want to start a white gang in here. Okay. Now, I knew from experience all gang leaders and all those type of people, they get singled out and they go to solitary confinement for years. I knew this. I know a lot of things happen to gang leaders, right? So he was like, I want you to be the leader, though. I want you to be the president. I want you to lead. And I was like, well, what you talking about? He says, I got a bunch of white guys, and we're going to get together, and we're going to call ourselves the White Knights. I swear on my kids. I swear on my kids. This is an actual story. He said, we're going to do the White Knights. I said, White Knights? Nah, we're not doing that. He said, man, I got all these white guys. Now, we had different philosophies. Okay? His philosophy was, he had 100 white guys, but 60 of them were soft. 60 of them were getting smacked around. 60 of them were getting robbed. 60 of them were soft in my eyes. And I always said, if I'm doing something like that, then I want the best. I want the toughest ones. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's 10 of us. That's who I want. I don't want 100 people who are going to fucking run when shit happens. Nah. So we never, it never came to happen. But dudes tried hard to get me to start the White Knights. 100%. Didn't do it. Don't know what happened with it. Don't know, you know, it never happened. But 1000% true story. They tried to get me to do that. It just wasn't, you know, I wasn't gonna be, you know, stepping up for suckers that I seen getting smacked and robbed regularly. Nah. If you was about that life and, you know, you had strong team, that's different, maybe, right? Because again, you know, and that's different. It's a world within a world. Like, and again, if you never was there, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand what really happens and what really transpires. So no, I wasn't getting down with no suckers. You know, and again, I knew what happened to gang leaders. You know, they get shipped off and, you know, to solitary confinement for the rest of their bids. I knew. I read a lot of books. I seen it. So it just wasn't my thing, and I stayed who I was, and I stayed true to who I was, and being the real motherfucker that I am, and that's how I lived my life in there. That's the truth, 1000%. Anybody that was with me could comment down on the bottom, and you know, they'll tell you themselves. You know, I was just real and cool with whoever was cool with me. I was cool with you. That's how it goes. You know, so again, Carlos, the racial shit, it's a little different here. You know, you do have race wars and you do have some things going on, but it's not really like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't, you know, you have white guys that hang out with whatever, and it's a little bit different here. It's not mandatory. You know what I'm saying? In certain states, it's mandatory. You come in, you must hang out with the white guys. You must hang out with the Spanish guys. You must hang out with the black guys if you're black. You know what I'm saying? New York wasn't like that. You know what I mean? And the gang life was a bit different. You know what I'm saying? When I first went in, there wasn't too many. It was gangs, lots of gangs, but it was different. You know what I'm saying? Like the 5%ers, the Muslims. A lot of dudes went to jail and turned Muslim, man. A lot of dudes, you know what I mean, went to jail and got up under the Muslims for protection. Facts, 100%. Because I've seen them out now, and they, you know, they eating pork chops. You know what I mean? But if they go into jail, they're gonna be Ak again. That's just the way it is. That's 100%. Not all of them, but I'm just saying. I've seen it. I've seen dudes, you know, be blood, drop their flags. And when you drop your flag up there, you know, other bloods are coming at you. When they drop their flag, they turn Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Muslims are strong in there. You know, so it was a bit different. You know what I mean? The Bloods, Crips, and all that came later. Came, you know, in the mid-90s, end of the 90s. And then it blew up. You know what I'm saying? Then the gang shit really went crazy in the 90s. You know what I mean? Now, I ain't got nothing against it. It is what it is. Dudes, you know, dudes do what they do. It's got nothing to do with me. You know? Bloods and Crips is fighting. That's got nothing to do with me. You know? But yeah, a lot of that shit happened in it. But when I first went in, it wasn't really like that. You know what I mean? It was more 5%ers, more Muslim, Latin Kings, a few Netas here and there. And the thing is, in the beginning, if you was Crip, like you claimed Crip in the beginning when it first started, you was about that life because the Bloods outnumbered the Crips maybe 10, 15, 20 to 1. For every one Crip, there was 20 Bloods. You know what I mean? So if you was claiming Crip, you knew you had to be about that life. You know what I'm saying? Because it was war. It was, you know, Bloods and Crips, like that Bloods and Crips. It was Bloods and Crips in the penitentiary too, going crazy. You know, so if you was Crip, you know, and you claimed Crip, you was about that life, and dudes had to come correct. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it was. Anyway, I hope I answered a few of your questions, man. We already coming up on 25 minutes. These things go so damn fast for me, man. These things go so, it's just crazy. It's just nuts. Maybe I'll talk a few more minutes, you know. But man, maybe we'll answer another question. We'll answer another question. Okay, we got, let's see who we got here. Okay, we got Lou, New Orleans. Okay, shout out to Lou in New Orleans. You know what I mean? He wanted to know what were some of the craziest things you've seen in solitary. I know I talked a little bit about solitary on the third video. It's kind of low. My energy wasn't what it should have been, and maybe I'll do something to recreate part 3, right? But some of the craziest things I seen, let me tell you something. This one dude, he gassed the police. When you gas the police, it means what he did was he took his milk carton, okay? He pissed in it and put shit in it, shook it up, and left it there, okay? He left it there for maybe a week, okay? In his milk container, shook it up. And he had beef with this one police. So when this one police opened up his feed up slot to give him food, it was a little slot, and passed his food in, he stuck his hand out and threw the shit and piss, which had been marinating for a week, in the police face. Police swallowed all this rest of this. So they opened his cell and they beat the fuck out of him, okay? They beat the shit out this dude. I mean, they broke his spirit, man. They beat him so bad, and there's nothing anybody could do. While they're in there beating him up, dudes is just banging on their gates. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, it was so loud. Everyone was just beating on their gate. Get off of him, boom, banging on their gates. It was crazy. I mean, the environment was hostile. No one could do nothing because no one could get out their cells. So they threw him back in the cell, and as I stated in part 3, outside your cell, they have a little door that closed, then they could turn your water off. So he was in his cell for damn near a week without water. And what they do is, when you turn your water off, you can't flush the toilet either. And you can't press the little button to get water. So you have no water, and he started to become dehydrated after a couple days. So what did he do? He started drinking his own piss, because they refused to feed him too. He started drinking his own piss for survival, man. This is what he did. He started drinking his own piss to hydrate himself. And I know a lot of people out there like, ew, oh no, I wouldn't. You would do the same shit. You would do the same thing. It's about survival. This is what I'm trying to say. If you never lived in that world, you wouldn't understand, man. You wouldn't understand what survival is about unless you've been in survival situations. He drank his own piss to live, to survive, man. Or he was going to die in that cell and no one could do shit about it. After about a week, they turned his water on, and, you know, it is what it is. He must, you know, when I seen him come out one time, he came out, he had to go to the dentist or something. And when he came out of his cell, man, this dude looked, I mean, he had lost 40 pounds or something. He was bones and nothing. That's another thing. Dudes do crazy shit to get out their cells in solitary confinement. I know dudes who punched the wall until they broke their hands, just so they could go get x-rays, just so they can take that 10-minute walk. I know dudes who used to cut themselves, bleed all over the place, bite themselves till they bit an artery so that the blood was spurting, so they'd have to come in and take them to the medical for 5 minutes. People were going crazy in there, and they would do anything to get out their cells. 100%. So yeah, those are some of the craziest things I seen. Dude had to drink his own piss, man. This is what goes on in there. This is stories I'm sure a lot of people have never fucking heard in their life. Tell these dudes who come home, to these kids, tell these dudes that come home from prison to tell you the real stories, man, and the horror they seen. All that banging on the gate, I heard it every single night, man. I'm still haunted by that. I can't sleep at night. I toss and turn every night. Sometimes my girl will come and wake me up for something, and she touch me, I'm ready to jump up and fight. It's instilled in me. I'm haunted by the penitentiary. These people don't tell you that shit. This is why I say to these kids, stay your ass in school, man. It's not bad out here. It's not bad. My freedom is amazing. I love my freedom. I can walk and do whatever the hell I want to do. Stay your ass in school, man. Stop trying to be tough. Stop trying to be a killer. You not a killer. I was around real killers, man. Real killers and real murderers, man. And you don't want to be around these type people, man. That's why I say to everybody, man, please, I do this as therapy for myself too, talking to you people. I love it because I know people are listening from all over the world. Don't be like me. I always knew the difference between right and wrong. Always. I just always chose to ignore it. If something don't feel right to you, don't do it. It's not worth going to prison. Because again, I know people who've gone to prison for 1 year, 2 years, and they've never come out of prison. They're there for life, for stuff that they had to do. I know dudes who've got murdered who've had 2 years, 3 years to do skid bids, little bullshit bids. Because once you go in, there's no guarantee you're coming home, man. This is why I'm so passionate about this, man, because I lived it and I seen it, and I don't want other people to live it and see it like I did. The worst experience I've ever had in life were those years, man. My teenage years, all my 20s, some of my 30s, all that shit. When I was supposed to be in school doing proms and doing things, no. I was in the penitentiary, fighting wars. I'm trying to help you people and understand, especially the youth, to understand this shit is real. The penitentiary is real. It's not a game. Stay your ass out here. Stay your ass in school and be somebody. And on that note, we're going to say like I say on every video, people. To my followers, you already know what's coming. Experience is the greatest teacher. But somebody else's experience could be just as valuable if you listen. Please listen. Fred White, signing off.